All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're putting two ancient titans head-to-head. And if you think you already know the greatest wonder of the ancient world, well, you might want to think again.
So, let me ask you a question. What is humanity's greatest ancient achievement? I mean, really think about it. When you close your eyes and picture ancient glory, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most people, it's going to be one single iconic answer.
Yep, you guessed it, the Egyptian pyramids. I mean, of course, right? For centuries, they've been the undisputed champions. But what if I told you there's this forgotten contender out there, a monument that, believe it or not, was in many ways way more advanced?
And that's where our story really kicks off. We're talking about a tale of two incredible monuments, because hiding in the shadow of the pyramids is this place, Persepolis, the capital of the ancient Persian Empire. And I'm telling you, when you put them side by side, the comparison is it's staggering.
And this really gets right to the heart of the matter. On one hand, you've got the pyramids, basically a gigantic tomb for just one king. And on the other, Persepolis, a living, breathing capital city for 50 different nations. I mean, the difference in vision here, it couldn't be more stark.
Okay, so let's dig into that first. The vision, the why. Why were these incredible structures even built? Because the answer reveals two completely different worlds, two completely different mindsets.
See, Persepolis wasn't just a city. It was the living political heart of a massive, multicultural empire that stretched all the way from India to the Aegean Sea. We're talking one of the first true global superpowers. This was no vanity project for a single king. This was a message to the entire world, and it was a message carefully crafted in stone.
And this is where it gets really fascinating. Persepolis was designed to be a civilizational statement. Sure, part of it was about projecting power, you got to do that, but it was also built to promote unity, to celebrate tolerance, and to bring together dozens and dozens of nations. The ambition of that idea alone is it's mind-blowing.
So, the vision was huge, but how in the world did they actually execute it? When we look at the engineering, the how they did it, the difference between these two monuments gets even clearer. It's really a classic tale of brawn versus brains.
Think about it. The pyramids are amazing because of their sheer scale. You've got these simple stacked blocks, just huge. It's a marvel of brute force. Persepolis, though, that's a different game entirely. It's a marvel of precision and intricacy. We're talking complex, interlocking systems.
I mean, just look at some of these engineering feats. We're talking earthquake-resistant foundations, advanced drainage systems that are still functional today, columns soaring 20 meters into the sky with perfect symmetry, and things like interlocking stone joints and anti-seismic clamps on a huge terraced mountain. This wasn't just building. This was advanced science. This was centuries ahead of its time.
And then you've got the artistry. You look at the pyramid stonework, and yeah, it's immense. But it's also kind of crude, functionally speaking. Now, the stonework at Persepolis, that is a whole other level. It's intricate, sculpted art. We're talking ultra-detailed carvings with details so fine you'd practically need a magnifying glass. The city wasn't just built, it was literally sculpted.
So who put this masterpiece together? The answer is just incredible. The number is 50. 50 different nations. The pyramids? They were built by a local workforce, but Persepolis was a global effort. You had artisans and engineers from almost 50 different nations all collaborating. It was basically the world's first truly international megaproject.
And the logistics of making this happen? Absolutely mind-boggling. Step 1, use source materials from places as far away as India, Egypt, and Anatolia. Step 2, you somehow transport them over mountains, deserts, and plains. And step 3, you then have to elevate all of it onto a massive artificial terrace. I mean, the Egyptians could just float stones down the Nile. The Persians, they were managing a supply chain that spanned continents. It's an almost impossible thing.
All right, so this brings us to the big question, right? We've talked about its legacy, its fame versus its fortune. If Persepolis was so incredibly advanced, so complex, so meaningful, why on earth isn't it as famous as the pyramids? Why don't we all learn about it in school?
Yeah, that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? So why did the pyramids become these global icons, while Persepolis became, well, a footnote in the history books? The answer, as it so often is, lies in the messy, complicated, and frankly often unfair way that history gets written.
It turns out history buried this wonder. Persepolis was the victim of what you could call a perfect storm of bad luck. First, it was destroyed, burned to the ground by Alexander the Great. Then it was defamed. Its story was told by Greek historians who painted the Persians as the enemy. Then there was distraction. In the 19th century, Europe went crazy with Egyptomania, and Persepolis got lost in the shuffle. And finally, dismissal, downplayed by colonial-era scholars. It's a powerful reminder that history is almost always written by the victors. And here is the ultimate irony in this whole tale of survival. The pyramids survived because they were in the middle of nowhere. They were pretty much left alone. Persepolis, on the other hand, survived despite being destroyed. It was attacked, it was burned, it was shaken by earthquakes, and yet parts of it still stand. The fact that anything is left at all is maybe the greatest testament to its engineering genius.
So when you put all this together, it really forces you to take a step back. It's time for a wonder to be reconsidered. We have to rethink what we believe are the ancient world's greatest achievements.
So what's the final verdict here? How do we sum all this up? Well, I think it comes down to a simple, powerful idea. If the pyramids represent monumental weight,
then Persepolis represents monumental complexity. You see the difference? It's that core contrast between sheer brute force mass and sophisticated, incredibly intricate design.
Or to put it another way, and I think this really nails it, if the pyramids show ancient power, Persepolis shows ancient genius. One is a monument to a single king. The other is a monument to an entire, multicultural civilization. The evidence, when you really look at it, seems pretty clear. Persepolis is so much more than just a ruin. It is genuinely one of the greatest achievements in all of human history. So maybe it is time to give this forgotten wonder its place in the sun. And the next time someone asks you about the wonders of the ancient world, well, now you've got a whole new story to tell.